Everybody can see me, I hope. Trying to get all the technical things all figured out. I'm going to be starting right at 12 o'clock. If you can't read the chat or if you can't see me, we're starting right at 12 o'clock. I'm going to do all the housekeeping stuff then. Thanks for being here. If you can see me and hear me. I'm getting used to this layout, so you can only practice so much. So, oh, there you are, Tammy. Hi. I'm super excited to do this. This is going to be so much fun. All right, my phone clock says it's 12:30, so we're going to start because I have a lot of stuff. People will just jump in when they can. So we're going to just start right now. If you don't know how to work the webinar little buttons, I'm going to push the screen share button right now. These little buttons on yours, I'm not sure if you have these or not, but these are going to make either me go away, like this is going to make it look really weird when I push this button, just so you know. So you can push that if you want the screen to be bigger. This is being recorded, so there's a replay so other people can watch it. And I think we're going to start. So here we go. Ooh, before I start, I'm coming back. Sorry for making you dizzy. And anytime if you can't hear me, just jump off, try to jump back in. If something happens and you have to leave, just jump off and you can watch the replay. The part that I almost forgot is if you're seeing my slides, I can't see you typing in the chat. So if anybody's chatting on the chat and the slides are up, I can't see you. I'm going to be popping back and forth, but mainly we're going to have the slides up. So here come the slides. A little bit extra stuff here. I couldn't have this previously done. So here we go. Thank you for all being here. Great. I'm excited to do this. I can't wait to have you guys learn all this stuff. If you have gotten the box item I had in the emails, make sure you have a handy item that's all ready to go so we can do that later in the presentation. I have a lot of ground to cover. I try to keep it under an hour, but I just couldn't do it. So we're going to try to do the best I can. I'm going to double check. Pammy, you can hear me okay, right? Type in the chat. I want to make sure before I keep going that you can hear me all right. I know with the sound check it was a little weird. Anybody besides Tammy too can type in. Just want to make sure that you guys can hear me before I keep going. While we're waiting for somebody to let me know, anyone let me know if you can hear me. While we're waiting, I'm going to send the replay out, so make sure that you're getting all my emails. Check your spam folders if you can't find them, otherwise email me. I also wanted to remind everybody that there's no judging. We're going to just, with the information that I'm presenting, everybody's at different stages and places, so I'm just kind of presenting in general for everyone. So we're going to go with that. If for some reason the Webinar Ninja cuts us out for some reason, I will do the live Q&A or at least I'll try to. I didn't practice that. We'll do the live Q&A in the Facebook group. It's Simple Life Steps with Sandy. So if you haven't already looked into that, we're going to be on there. If for some reason we get booted out of here, I will do the Q&A. So hopefully we'll be able to do the whole presentation part. I think we're just going to dive in. I'm hoping that you guys can hear me. Nobody's letting me know. I think Tammy can see me, but I don't know if she can hear me. So, all right, here we go. It's recording. So if you guys can't hear me, I'll send you the recording. Yay! All right, you can hear me. Perfect. Thanks, Tammy. All right, here we go. This is my disclaimer. This is not medical advice. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nutritionist. I am not a dietitian. This is for educational and informational purposes only. If you need to see my full disclaimer, it's on my website at sandynixon.com. Another little disclaimer is about recipes. I am super, super picky about recipes. Hold on, sorry. I want to make sure that on the recording that everybody can see this better. There you go. That's just for the recording. Now everybody can read everything I have on here. And I lost my notes. Here we go. There we go. Now a little better. Back to what I was saying. My full disclaimer is on my website about recipes. I am super picky about recipes, so I don't endorse or promote any recipes unless they're on my website. Those are the ones that I eat. Those are the ones that I recommend. There are some recipes in some of the links. I don't care what the link is. I'm not necessarily saying that that's a good recipe by putting that link in there. It's for educational purposes. It's just, and that's with my Pinterest boards too. I have it super organized on there. Those are for information and inspiration only. That does not mean that I recommend it or anything like that. I'm hoping by the end of the presentation, you'll have a better idea of what ingredients would be helpful in different recipes and which ones to take a second look at. Just so everyone knows off the top, I'm gifting everyone that has signed up for the webinar my slide deck. I have clickable links on the slides themselves, and in my notes, I have extra information that you can look at your own on your own time. I just wanted to give you guys a lot of information. What you will learn. This is a lot. After I had it all finished, I'm like, oh, that is a lot of stuff. We're going to go over food literacy, new grammar, the old and new food labels. The ingredient section is my favorite. The tips and myths and did you knows are going to be sprinkled here and there, but we're going to just keep jumping in. I want to get through these easier slides that you can read over later by yourself. What I'm hoping what you're going to take away is the confidence in purchasing your food, tools and resources, and that food is very individualized. Oops, sorry, I pushed cap on happy. Going the wrong direction. There we go. This is my mission statement for my health coaching business, is that I teach women a systematic approach to be an active participant in their health and well-being, to live healthy, vibrant, and abundant lives, one small step at a time. Now about me. So I'm Sandy Nixon, if you haven't met me. I'm a mother of two. I've been a hairdresser for 15 years and chronically sick most of my entire life. I'm also married. We've been married for almost 15 years too, now that I think about it. Because I've been sick my whole life, that's one reason why I decided to become a health coach. I still love pasta. Back I've always eaten, well, before I started this, I've always eaten only the food I loved. Kind of like kids, they only want to eat the food that they like. I didn't eat much food that I didn't like. And the only thing about food labels that I knew before changing my entire lifestyle over was like the calories. I knew that that's where the calories were, and I knew about salt or the sodium. That's about all I knew about food labels. I never really exercised. I was food illiterate. I had no clue. So my quick story is I've always had allergies. I kept on getting sicker. After my son was born, that was kind of like, I think, the turning point. So that day, my ears felt different, and no doctor, nurse, nobody believed me. So I just kept on asking, and I got no help. Then I found a nutritionist, and she wanted me to change over my food. And she's like, okay, I only want you to eat meat, vegetables, and a green apple. One green apple. I can only have one green apple a day, and coconut oil. That's what she wanted me to do. We did that for a while, and then I think we did that for a month. And then she said I could have a sweet potato. That's the only thing extra I could have for another whole month. That was not happening. And I eventually figured out from her that she wanted to find out what I was allergic to. Well, I found through a series of events, I found a seminar and got tested, got IgG food allergy tested. And that's the basis for a lot of the information that I'm going to give you today. It is based around, I don't want to say it's based around me, but I can only give you me as an example. And you have to kind of go from there. So this is what I have learned either through trial and error or just life experience. Some of it has to do with what I was taught in health coaching school, and there's different things doctors have told me. Just reading my slides. Okay, so one of the things on my list was yeast. Sorry, I'm jumping ahead there. I wanted just to take a peek at what was next. They were giving me little steps. Like they kept on giving me little steps. Like she wanted me to have just the green apple and the meat and the vegetables, and then the one extra thing a month. So that was too little of a step for me. Like we were going way too slow. I was never given a big picture. So I just kept on feeling like, where are we going? Why do we have to go this slow? The yeast one got me to this point. My test also came back with wheat, rye, barley, and oats, 3 of which contain the protein gluten. Oats is a little different, and I have that in one of the slides in the notes you'll find on why there are certified gluten-free oats, but oats is naturally gluten-free. The oats that God made are naturally gluten-free. So why should you listen to me? That's my little story about me and how I got here, but why should you listen to me? I'm extremely passionate about health and wellness. I just at the end of May got certified as a health coach. And with all this information that I found for myself and my daughter, some of my daughter's story is in the slide deck notes, so you can look at that. But with all that information, there's so much, and I believe God wanted me to share it. So that's what I'm doing. I'm sharing this with as many people as I can, because I didn't know, and I don't believe that's being taught, which is what we're going to go over with the next slide of the food literacy. let's just jump there. What is food literacy? Proficiency in food skills and knowledge. I tried so hard to find a fun percentage, like statistic or something, and this, believe it or not, was the best one I could find. The American Journal of Preventive Medicine found poor label comprehension was highly correlated with low-level literacy and numeracy skills, but even in patients with higher literacy could have difficulties interpreting labels. That just made me sad. Like, I'm just like, okay, so how is that helpful? What I understood from that is that food labels are hard to understand. Those are I put down the sources that I got that information from. Numeracy, before I totally forget to talk about it, has to do more with portion sizing. I personally, this is my personal opinion with numeracy, I think it has to do also with going to the doctor and getting test results. And I think we all know that certain number, like we know and the doctors tell us that certain numbers are not beneficial or we need to change them. But then when we go out to eat or when we're at the grocery store, are we like putting those two together? Are we making those choices that, hey, you know, if I add extra sugar to my coffee, that's not necessarily going to help my triglyceride number come down. The literacy, the food, like the prepping and the skills, that's important because if we know the information and we can't cook something or don't have the skills to, you know, measure, those are all different stages. Everybody's at a different stage. So I am that way with fitness. I love having a trainer. I'm so thankful that the gym that I'm at, they have a trainer, a really good trainer now. And I just need him to stand there and tell me what to do. I know the exercises. I could look in a book and I could figure it all out, but I'm not going to count. I'm going to be thinking about everything else, and I'm not going to get anything accomplished. So I'm hoping that makes sense. It's also, I think, the literacy has to do with the fact of even making time. I think that's one of the things we've lost in the culture of being so busy, is that we've forgotten to take the time to prepare food. So we are stuck with having to go to the fast food restaurant or buying more highly processed foods because we just don't have time, which is another reason why I'm so excited to get to the actual food label section so that you can make better choices in what you buy if you haven't gotten to that point where you have more time or that you haven't, they're just different steps. Here's my fun story. I had once, this is kind of gonna wrap, I love pictures. I just love pictures. I see things in pictures. So I kind of want to bring all this together. And I heard of this story. I heard it with a husband. This one that I have listed on the slide is one of a little girl. But this is Sandy's version of the story. There's another version on there too, but it's pretty much the same. The story goes that this little girl was watching her mom make dinner. Her mom was making ham. So her mom cut the ends of the ham off and puts it in the oven. And the little girl goes, "Mom, why do you always cut the ends of the ham off?" She goes, "I don't know. Grandma always did it that way." Well, the little girl was persistent. So she calls up Grandma and she's like, "Grandma, Mom's making ham and she keeps cutting the ends of the ham off. She said that you did that and I want to know why." So Grandma's like, "I don't know. My mom always did it that way." So this little girl did not want to give up. She wanted an answer to her question. So they call up Great Grandma and she's like, "Great Grandma, Mom's making ham. She always cuts the ends off. I want to know why you did that." She's like, honey, that's the only way it would fit in my pan. The reason I tell this story is because the story on the website says that it has to do with critical thinking. I'm a why person. I like to know why. I'm very curious and I want to know why. And I think we lost that. We lost the curiosity. We lost why we do things a certain way. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with cutting off the ends of the ham. But 2 generations did that and had no clue why. So that's my fun little story with that. Okay, so enough of me talking for a couple minutes. I have a little question for you. Why do we eat? So anybody want to take a stab? And hi, Shannon. Can anybody jump in and answer that question? Why do we eat? Anybody know the answer to that? Little interactive part. There's more interactive parts, but anybody? Good job, Tammy. Nutrition. I like to think of energy. Energy was one of my top ones, and that's one of the things that I think nutrition is good. We want essential nutrients. I'm going to jump back. Thanks, Tammy, for being on the ball. And I lost my notes. Guess I got to push the button every time I switch. I don't have it all memorized. I've done it enough, but I don't have it all memorized. Vitamins, minerals, and essential nutrients are fuel. That's why if you go on any like eatright.gov is a nutrition dietitian website, and when they review all the new diets that come out, and I think this is my personal opinion again, I think one of the reasons that they will rate them certain different ways is because they don't want to exclude any food group. And I agree, because we want to get all of our nutrients from food, like whole foods that God made that man didn't mess up. So for example, going back to myself again, is I think, I haven't looked at the sheet in forever, but I think cow dairy was on my sheet. I just know that I don't digest it well. And like I said before, grains, the main 3 grains, I can't have. They're on my test. So when I try to go to websites like choosemyplate.gov, they have awesome tools there, but because I can't have those, their system can't produce things for me. So that's why I would always get frustrated, and that would be a stumbling block for me. There is MyFitnessPal, I really like. That one's my favorite. These are the areas of where we're going to, for the tools that I promised. I like this one because any product, even the product that you have by you, if it has a barcode on it, this one has a very extensive list that you can scan in there. And then I like that it shows the different nutrients and tells you how the nutrients, when you scan those in and put them in for your meals, it kind of tracks that. That to me is more important, because that's the whole purpose. The whole purpose is to be not deficient, to be balanced. And I think that is their ultimate goal, is to be balanced and have all these things covered. I'm going to just peek at the next slide. Yeah. Which is why they fortify. I might just jump back and forth between these 2 slides. I'm going to just read it quick just because I want to remember it too. But fortification is successful because it makes frequently eaten foods more nutritious without relying on consumers to change their habits. This is a little sentence, but it's got a lot in it. I believe the fortification of the fact that they do fortify foods is why I'm still alive. I was illiterate, and I think if it wasn't for that, I would be dead. On the flip side of that, now that I do know better and I did change my habits, that's my new why question, or what, more better to say what than why in that aspect. What are they fortifying it with? I'm gonna jump back to my other little cool slide here because it's super colorful. But these other websites are great resources. They have great facts and literature in them. They have a lot of great information. I believe this one has some good kid stuff. They do have, I guess, some more kid-friendly recipes. Again, there may be, I'm all about the source of the ingredient and the quality of the ingredient. I could do a whole nother 3-hour webinar on that alone. So when you take out one of these, like I was just saying with the fortifying, grains is a big one, especially with the low carb diets out there, that it can get hairy if you eliminate just that one and you're not food literate, you could become deficient quickly. That's where I think the medical community, like the current, like the gold standard medical community, gets really frustrated because they don't want us to become deficient. When we are changing all this stuff, and some people are going gluten-free, and they're jumping on the bandwagon of certain things, and they don't know all the details. Just want to make sure that I didn't miss anything. This website, I'll have to link that one. I didn't have that one linked, but is amazing. This one actually goes through what they're fortifying. It's usually breads and like orange juices that they're fortifying. But I've noticed there's a list of all the different things that they, at least from this website, I don't know if this is a United States website or what, but, and that's the other thing. There is totally different rules and different things in different countries. Like Europe has something different, the regulations and stuff on what they can put in food and what they can't in different places. Again, I put tons and tons of links in my notes. I did put the link to that's on this website on my notes for that one. And now we're going to jump to a package that I found strolling through the grocery store lately. This one made me mad. This bag bothers me for a couple reasons. I get that they're trying to make it easy and fast, ease of use, so you can grab it and go. But this is why I'm saying food literacy, marketing are proof. I get that marketers, manufacturers want to jump on the bandwagon. People are all gluten-free crazy, so, and cholesterol-free and vegan, they want to grab, whatever they can do. But here's where my proof lies. If it didn't have this bottom part, can you use my fun little tool? If it didn't have this bottom part on here, this was not on there, and I just saw this. I had the whole bag on here, but I didn't want to, do any copyright infringement or anything, so I just left the nuts on there. But this is literally what the bag said. Walnuts, dried mangoes, almonds, cranberries, and pumpkin seeds. That's what's in here. So here we go. Vegans don't eat meat. Cholesterol comes from animal products or byproducts like milk and cheese. So if there's no meat in here, this doesn't really need to have that plastered. I mean, it's in big letters on this thing. Again, gluten only comes from wheat, rye, and barley. And sometimes oats, but that's There's a whole article on that. I'm not going to even jump into that. And then cholesterol too, the notes on cholesterol are also in the notes. So that's where I get frustrated. They are trying to make it easy. I get that. But then it gets confusing because there's more words on something than we really need. All right, here's where we're going to camp for a little bit. This is going to be the super educational part. Before I forget, this little thing down here is a link. It's a great colorful handout to what I'm about to describe to you. If you forget or wanted to show to kids to explain to them, that would be a great way to go. Okay, so before 2 weeks ago, there was a deadline for all manufacturers to have this new food label on all their products. I think it was, yeah, so 2 weeks ago, the FDA, I think it was the FDA, let me double check here. The FDA extended the compliance date. And there's no new release date on that. So it's indefinite right now. So the companies don't have to change them at the moment. The new labels have the calories bigger. I think that is fun and, you know, ease of use. It's a little bit harder to find on here. I do like that. They are adding vitamin D and potassium on the new ones because they've done studies and they found that the country is vitamin D deficient. I would assume that's with potassium too. That's why they're adding it. I can't remember if they're taking any away. They might be taking away vitamin C. I don't know. And the serving size. The best explanation of serving size is a can of tuna. Did you all know that a can of tuna has 2 serving sizes in it? I did not know that. So with the new labels, the can of tuna, all of the facts would be for the whole can, or like a soda. Right now, you'd have to do the math, again with the numeracy, you'd have to do the math if this one right here says 8 servings. So you'd have to do the math if you decide, let's say it was a soda. I'm sure sodas only are 2 servings. I don't know. I haven't had a soda in forever, but let's say this was a soda and it was 8 servings. So let's say you drank the whole bottle of soda. You'd have to do this and all of these times 8. So the new labels are going to have it like the tuna, like I mentioned, and the soda can is going to have all of whatever's in that whole soda can. We're going to jump to serving sizes and fats. Well, mainly trans fat. Trans fat, I have a little more information in there. Trans fat increases your risk of heart disease and